My name is Eli and I am a transgender and non-binary ballet dancer.
Eli is a dancer and a dance teacher, and they have been dancing since they were about 6 years old.
And eventually I wound up in a professional dancers education for contemporary dance here in Stockholm. From that I moved on to do a bachelor degree in dance pedagogy.
During that final education, they realized that they were transgender.
So when I started to understand myself, I was right in the middle of my bachelor degree. So it was so strange to just suddenly start noticing things around me, suddenly feeling different and most of all invisible.
And they realized that being trans isn't discussed enough within the dance community.
They don't even think about there might be trans people in the class and how you're teaching and how the work you're doing is affecting them and how the space that you're creating is affecting them.
Eli decided to study this further in their thesis. So, what kind of difficulties can you encounter as a transgender person in the dance community?
There's some very obvious things, like there's always the issues of changing rooms. The clothes you wear is in many cases very form-fitting, so everything shows, which has a practical reason, but again it's going to make it difficult for someone that has issues with how their body is looking and with dysphoria and things like that. We have usually a mirror that we're staring into and just constantly assessing how everything looks and just everything about ourselves. And in many cases it's also, well, this is what the women is supposed to wear, this is what the men are supposed to wear, which again makes it difficult.
And ballet also has another issue that starts already from a young age.
You divide the training quite early because everyone assumes that okay, this assigned female is going to have point shoes when she grows up, and this assigned male is going to do big jumps and going to lift girls, so they're going to do another kind of training, and that usually starts quite early. So and that's another issue, that in many dance sets you have a very big history, and I think it's very clear especially in ballet that you have a very long history of gender roles that are very specific, and it has come to a point that it shows in how you dance and how not only what you do when you dance but also how you do it. The way you use your body becomes a product of the training that you've done. Because of the training you get either a very distinct feminine way of moving or a very distinct masculine way of moving, especially when you have this 200, 300, 400-year-old history of stories about princes and princesses and evil wizards, which could be fun to play with if you're allowed to play with it, but usually you're not allowed to.
Eli believes that dance could be used in a more playful way that would be more inclusive.
Because the wonderful thing about dance, it has so many possibilities and opportunities to just play with expression and with expressing characters, expressing emotions, and just play with who you are allowed to be and how you are allowed to move. Because historically dance has been very open, it's 100 years back, drag was super common in dancing. It happened all the time, and also dancing has been such a big part of the LGBTQ history, and with ballroom culture and with drag and everything around it, with voguing and that whole kind of community and security that provided. So there's so much possibility to just play with dance and play with your identity and your expression through dance. And that's kind of why I really love ballet so much, because technically people wouldn't expect me to love ballet as much as I do, because to the outside eye it's always seems so strict, when in reality we have so much to play with, as long as we're allowed to play with it.
What do the dance community need to change in order to create a space that is more safe and comfortable for everyone?
We really need to make space for both queer and especially trans people in dance, both on a hobby level as well as a professional level. We need to rethink the spaces themselves, how we teach, how we work, and how we think we are allowed to dance, so that we don't push trans people away from dance, that they are allowed to be in the dance spaces, but also so we can create a space where everyone, regardless of who they are, can play, can experiment, can explore their own identity and their own expression through dance.